Hello, hello, my beautiful friend. Welcome back. I am here today to talk about something really important, and that is meeting resistance. So, you have said yes to being a part of this experience, this program, this membership, in working together. And we're here to transform, we're here to change, we're here to claim more for our lives. And if you're here, you put your hand up to saying, I want more. I want more fulfillment. I want more success. I want more freedom. I want more abundance, all of that. And when we put our hand up for more, we're also putting our hand up to take risks. We're saying we're ready to challenge ourselves. We're ready to break through of old limits, our old beliefs, our old ways of being, so that we can really create the lives, the relationships, the businesses of our dreams. That's what we're here to do, right? If we're stepping into fulfillment. None of that is easy. It looks easy. And, sometimes in comparing ourselves to others, it can seem like we should just be able to go from here to here and it should be pretty easeful. But the truth is, when we are in a season of becoming, when we are in a season of stepping towards what we want and we're creating that, there can be a lot of discomfort in that. There can be a lot of resistance in that. And I'm here to remind you that that is completely normal. And I want to really invite you that when you feel that resistance come up, that it's not here to stop you. It's actually here to really indicate that you're on the right path, you're onto something, and to lean into that and to be really curious about it. Humans are creatures of habit. Our brains, we are wired to seek comfort and familiarity. And this is why when we embark on any path to change or confront new circumstances, we will meet resistance in that. And that's because we've never been on the other side of it. So, our mind is actually really trying to keep us safe. It's trying to keep us comfortable. It's trying to keep us in the known, even if what we know isn't healthy for us, and even if what we know isn't serving us anymore. This is just how our brain works. This is how we are wired. So this resistance that you're feeling, which you might experience when signing up for one of the embodiment sessions or coming to a community session or embarking in a program or having a difficult conversation in your life or claiming your needs, setting a boundary, when you're doing all of these things for the first time, this resistance can show up and it can be totally natural. There's a part of you that's like, oh, we feel threatened here. There's a sense of uncertainty. And I want to remind you that that is normal. And so to meet yourself with curiosity, to meet yourself with compassion, to meet yourself with grace, and to pause when you notice resistance, and to remember that resistance isn't here to stop you. It's here to really just invite you and to step into that new edge. Think about the gym. When we go to the gym and we're training our physical bodies, and maybe you're lifting weights and, you start with a certain pound of weights. And then as you get stronger, you increase the weight, you increase the resistance, and that is going to help you get stronger and stronger. But if you walked into the gym and picked up those big 50-pound dumbbells on day one, that would probably hurt you. But over time, you're slowly increasing your weight and increasing your resistance, and then you're getting stronger and stronger in your physical body. So that is just like anything. It's when you think about your emotional, your mental growth, anything like that, if you're committed to your growth path, it's just like that. Resistance is the key to the next level. So lean into it. And when we lean into our resistance, this really involves acknowledging where we feel uncomfortable, where we are feeling discomfort, and choosing to move forward despite it. So something that you might just want to do when you notice resistance come up, whether that's right before you're about to speak your truth, right before you're about to set a boundary, right before you're about to do something you've never done before, Notice it and honor it. Don't make it wrong. And consciously say, you know, I'm feeling resistance right now, and I'm choosing to step forward into it because I know and I trust that what's on the other side of it is actually where I want to go. And I know that that's really good for me. We have to be able to tune in and check in with ourselves and get to know what's going on in our own inner world enough to be able to answer the question, am I giving myself what I need, or am I giving myself what I want? Think about that for the moment. What do you want versus what you need? What you need is not always going to be what you want. So what you need and what you want, you know, you might want to stay comfortable. You might want to just, you know, skip the meeting or skip the call or skip the breathwork session or skip doing some of the assignments or the challenges that are offered to you here, or, you know, think about this in your personal life as well. I'll just skip that tough conversation. You want to do that. That's what you want. But it's not what you need, because what you need is to cultivate more courage. What you need is to cultivate more skills. What you need is to see what you're capable of. What you need is to stretch yourself to get on the other side. All of these little challenges and these little resistant points, they're here to give you what you need and invite you to step to a new edge and see who you can become on the other side of that. So when resistance shows up, let it be a teacher for you. It's not an excuse to turn back to where you felt comfortable, because that's what our mind will naturally do. It'll naturally take us back to where we felt safe and where we felt comfortable, even though it's not what we need, even though if it's not healthy for us. Have you noticed that you do that? I used to do that a lot. I still catch myself doing that too. I'm like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. No, it's not fine. It's not fine. We're not going back there. Transforming resistance into growth. That is what we are doing here. So here's a few prompts for you, and these are also written below for you. But I want you to really consider the next time you're feeling resistance is, can you pause and can you just get curious? What is it that is triggering this resistance? What is feeling uncomfortable about it? Identifying what this trigger is, you know, maybe it's, well, I'm afraid, let's say what you're feeling is, you know, having an uncomfortable conversation or communicating your needs or setting a boundary. That's one I hear quite often with clients. So let's say, ooh, feeling resistance, don't really want to do it. So how you could look at that and say, what's causing that is, it might be some fear of rejection, or it might be some fear of how the other person might interpret it. It might be fear of saying the right things or being enough. This is a really great place for you to pause and get really clear on some of those feelings. And then we get to make a choice on how you're going to navigate that. And there's lots of tools and resources in here for how to do that. But that pause and that awareness in, that's what that resistance really is the invitation to step forward anyways and to be courageous anyways. Brene Brown says something, and I'm going to butcher this quote right now, but it's something about staying awkward and being courageous. Make it awkward and make it courageous. And that's my invitation for you too when you meet resistance is, you know, I'm going to keep it awkward. I'm going to stay in my courage, and I'm going to walk through this new edge. The next prompt is really to think about, what emotions are you experiencing in response to the resistance? So acknowledge it, name it. When we name it, we can tame it. So what are you feeling? Is it some fear? Is it some anxiety? Is it some doubt? Recognizing these emotions and letting them come to the light is going to be the first step towards managing them. And what's the beautiful part about resistance is that when we meet it and we decide to walk forward towards it anyways, you know, walking through that other side, doing the challenging thing, being courageous, being awkward, that builds momentum. And the next time becomes easier, and the next time becomes easier. But we often have to take that first courageous step into the resistance to become who we want to become. So those are a couple prompts for you. And then the last one that you can really consider is just really that prompt of, am I giving myself what I need, or am I giving myself what I want? And sometimes we're just, sometimes we need to just chill and spend a day on the couch and not do the things. That is also sometimes what we need. But sometimes it's also acknowledging, like, where am I actually staying small and staying comfortable, and how is that hindering my growth? So how can you gently start pushing your own boundaries while still honoring that resistance? And who do you want to become? And how does overcoming the resistance really bring you closer to that vision? It's a really powerful question. Honoring yourself in it, naming it, and then choosing, what do I need versus what do I want? And how is this moving me towards who I want to become? So those are a few little prompts and tips on when resistance comes up for you. And if you have, if you like to write or have been considering journaling and things like that, writing about it is a really powerful way to express. It's a really powerful way for you to kind of bring some of these emotions and feelings that come up in the resistance to light. And when you see it, it's going to help you unlock some growth and some new choices that you get to make as you become who you want to be, and create the life that you want to live. So resistance is really just a part of the process. I am here for any questions and comments that you have, so feel free to pop those below. And I hope to see you in the room very soon, my friend. Feel free to come back and watch this anytime that you're experiencing that resistance. But just the final reminder that resistance isn't necessarily the invitation to stop and turn back. It might be exactly what you need to call yourself forward into your next edge.